father served in the Jewish Legion, First World War. He was a volunteer from the States. Now, I heard that there was going to be a war in Israel, and I wanted to participate. And it was through Land and Labor that the volunteers applied, and I went down to Land and Labor to volunteer. And they told me to get a physical and then to apply for a passport. Well, the passport never came because the Land and Labor had been infiltrated by the US government. Well, not knowing what to do, I went back to Land and Labor. What do I do? I would like to go to Israel and I want to participate. Well, they said I should go down to Pier 22 in Brooklyn, and there was a ship that was going to go to Israel and was being outfitted. It was a ship that was bought for scrap. Well, the ship was originally called the Mayflower. It was built in 1895 for Teddy Roosevelt as a presidential yacht. And it served in the Navy as an icebreaker until one of the engines exploded. It was purchased by Zionists and was registered under the flag of Panama. We were a mixed crew of 32, experienced and inexperienced. I was inexperienced. Well, we sailed across the Atlantic and it took a long time, took 30 days for us to cross the Atlantic. And finally, we landed in Marseille. And the outskirts of Marseille was a DP camp, displaced persons camp. And we visited to see where and what and how they were doing. Well, we went back to the ship, and the ship was being refurbished by carpenters. They were making holes for people to get on board, and we waited for them to finish. In the middle of the night, we heard that the ship was finished, and we went back to the ship. We went down to and sailed down the coast of France to a little port called La Ciotat. And there we were waiting for our passengers to arrive. Well, passengers spoke many languages, and most of them were Yiddish, so I didn't know any of it. Well, we heard the passengers from far away singing Hebrew songs, and we were excited by their enthusiasm to end their long wait, because we were the last part of their trip. They were old and young, men, women, and children, and they had brought all their meager belongings. We were exhausted from the long day, but we were satisfied because we had loaded 1,250 new immigrants for their trip to Israel. And this was their last trip. They were coming home. The trip lasted 7 days. Every passenger had 2 liters of water, and food, and bread, and food. And we were fortunate not to be stopped by the British because they had stopped previous ships but had already left. As we entered the port, we got a greeting by the Iraqi Air Force who bombed us. And the next day, everybody disembarked from the ship and went to Atlit. We went and volunteered then for the Air Force, and I served in different parts of the Air Force. After leaving Israel, I returned to New York. And there I married, raised 3 children, left a flourishing business in 1972, and came to Israel. I am proud that I'm here. My family has maintained its Jewish identity. The tradition that served my father, that began over 100 years ago, I continued by volunteering for the new state of Israel. And that value is being continued by my children, my grandchildren, and my great-grandchildren. All of my family served and continue to serve the state of Israel in many different and important ways. Don't be a couch potato, is what my mother always said. Do what you believe. And thank you for your hospitality and for your trip to Israel.
Thank you, Saba. Good afternoon, and thank you very much. I'm very proud and happy to be here. My name is Meir Walker, and I'm a major in the IDF. I'd like to start with thanking Avital and everyone here in the AJC for this opportunity to recognize, first of all, for this great demonstration of support, and to recognize Saba's story, especially for the year of his 90th birthday. Happy birthday, Saba. I joined the Army in 2005 as a gunner in the Armored Corps, and have served in every operation, conflict, and war since. In 2006, I was a young tank commander in the Second Lebanon War. In 2009, as a deputy company commander in Operation Cast Lead in Gaza. And in 2014, as a deputy battalion commander, leading over 600 soldiers and 30 tanks into the battlefield in Operation Cast Lead. In the battlefield, I've witnessed both the IDF's might and decisiveness, as well as its humanity. For our efforts during Protective Edge, my battalion was awarded the highest citation in the IDF. I now serve in the coordination of the government activities in the Territories Unit, promoting cooperation with our international partners, exercising Israeli soft power, and finding solutions to maintain stability in the region for the welfare of all populations. Zionism wasn't something we spoke about in our family. It was something that we simply did. We all grew up with the sense of pride and gratitude to the previous generations that sacrificed so much to build this amazing country. Fulfilling our duty and serving our country isn't a question in our family. It is second nature. I'm proud to be a major in the IDF, an army that goes to great lengths in order to protect the state of Israel while holding the highest standards of respect for human life, purity of arms, and professionalism. Thank you. The IDF is a beacon of hope and stability for Israel's society, promoting equality and giving opportunity to all who serve, regardless of their background. I'm very excited and appreciative of this opportunity to recognize Saba and his generation's impact on our lives, especially for the year of his birthday. Without their sacrifice, this great country would not have turned from dream to reality. It is through their legacy and guidance that we have built a strong and independent Israel, a homeland for all Jews around the world. Saba, I promise you that your legacy will never fade away, and we will keep on and carry on doing as you told us, and defending our country with everything we have. Thank you.
Chicago.